Hope all of you are able to see my screen and hope all of you can hear me. Can I have a quick confirmation? Guys, can you hear me? Perfect. All right. Okay, perfect. Just give me a second. Today, let me go through, where did I kept it? Just give me a second, guys. This is what our DE domain class notes, right? I think I haven't shared it with you the yesterday's one, but I'll share it today. So this is complete DM. So what we do is we prepare one DM data from the scratch. Mean to say, let's have one DM raw data set. From the raw data set, we prepare all these variables. That is one thing we do. Apart from that, today, before we go with that particular one, so you have 4 assignments, right? Can we complete with the 4 assignments? Because a lot of people calling me and asking, so can we have these assignments discussed with the class, right? So can we do this? Can we complete this particular one today? I know all of you, some of you, not all of you, some of you have already shared the code with me. So, but let's do this today. Anyone have any questions or any other thoughts? Let me know. If not, we can continue to do this particular one. All right. So you can use any SAS of your choice, but I prefer personally going with the SAS one. That is nothing but our what to say, university edition. Now we cannot call that as a university edition. Instead of that, you can call that as a SAS Studio, right? The same SAS Studio is the one I'm going to use it today. So if you have anything, let's say your regular, what I can call it as PC SAS, or if you have your SAS Enterprise Guide, you can use anything of your choice. There is no restriction. You can use anything of your choice, right? For me, anyways, it is free of cost. That's the reason I'm using it. Correct? We all know that it is going to be free of cost, right? Any questions on this? Why I'm using it? What is this and all? I hope all of you are clear, right? Anyone? Right? All I'm going to do is I'm going to use SAS Studio. Anyone, any questions on this particular one? If not, I can proceed further. I don't know if you're, let's say, if you're not comfortable with that, if you want me to use only the regular one, or if you want me to use only the PC SAS or SAS Studio, let me. I don't find anything is different or difficult over there. Everything is going to be the same. I just saying that it is what to say, a well-versed one, and it is already there for us. It is for free of cost. That's the reason I prefer to use this. Questions? Just give me a moment. I'm just entering the credentials. After the credentials, again, I'll go with the screenshot. Just a second. Just I'm entering my SAS credentials. That's the reason I'm asking you to go wait for this. Yeah, I got this, and I'm just relaunching my screen share. So hope all of you can see this. Yes, can I proceed from here? So just loading this, just wait for a second, it will get loaded, and then we can proceed with the data here. One of the primary reason why I prefer to use this is this is something which is official. No one is going to ask you, or no one is going to say, are you using the licensed version or anything. You don't get all these kind of questions because this is the licensed version, right? Because it is going to be the version which is provided by the SAS itself. So that is the primary reason why I do it. All right. Okay. Now let me create one folder here in the same home itself. I will call this as Clinical SAS. All right. So within the clinical SAS, let me create one program. This is my first program. All right. So now all I want to do is we want to proceed with the tasks. So what are the tasks we have? This is the first task, right? This is my data. Okay. Whatever the data is there, we just put this data as is here. So I have input details as per the protocol. I have the study name, site details, gender, and domain. And we also have the patient details. These are the patient details, right? And finally, all we need is we are looking for the desired output as per the clinical standards. So what is the clinical standard output here? I want this as my desired output, correct? I'm looking for this as the desired output. Some of you already completed this and you have already shared this particular data with me. So there is no doubt about it, right? We can continue to use that. And whoever have not completed this particular one, kindly follow this here. Okay. So can I say this is my input data? So can I take my input data as is first? Right? Let me create one data set with this particular data. All I want is I need data. I'm just calling this as assignment 1. So I just call this with the same name, assignment 1. So I have my data lines. Data lines is the place where I can have all my data, correct? Right. So there are two things here. The first one is the patient ID. Second one is the gender. These two are the headers. So I'm just removing it. All right. So one of the main problem we may face is there will be encryption. So you need to be very careful with the encryption. Just make sure that there are no encoding or encryption issues here. Right? I just have my data. Yeah. Okay. What's the next step? All I need is I need to create 4 variables here. What are those 4 variables? Number 1, study ID. So can I say that this is going to be my in file? My in file is nothing but this is the place where my input is present. Data lines. I don't need to provide any DLM or any other options because it's the default space is going to be the delimiter for me. Input tells what are my variables are. There are study ID is one of the variable. Second one is going to be, I have a habit of writing everything in small letters. Study ID, domain, use subject ID, USUBJ ID, and finally subject ID, SUBJ ID, and 6. These are the variables which I need to read. Out of that, how many of them are present here? Can I say 2 of them are only present? Correct. What are the 2 things that are present here? Study ID, and the second thing is going to be text variable. So let's read only these 2 for now, because these 2 are the only ones which I can read it from the input file. Correct. So I just read only these 2. Can I say both of them are going to be the characters? Though it is going to be a number, I don't do any mathematical calculations on this particular one. That is the first thing. Second thing is going to be, as per your standard implementation guide, STIG, if I want to go with study ID, what is study ID? Anyone? As per the demographics domain, the study ID is going to be in the characters. Correct? It's supposed to be a character, right? Just give me a second. I'll go there to the implementation guide because it is also important to us. Come on, where it is. Here it is. So study ID, that's supposed to be the character, right? We don't need to decide. It's supposed to be decided by the implementation guide itself. It's going to be character. So we can come back here and we assign character. Sex. Sex is also the variable which is supposed to be the character variable, correct? So where we have defined this is CO, right? Just give me a second. This is CO. This is DM. So under the DM, study ID is character. We have sex variable, which is also a character. And most important thing here, guys, can you see this? Can you see here? It is called as a controlled terms. Can you see this? It is going to be a controlled term. So if you want to see what is this control term, you can just click on this particular one. You can see that the controlled term, the entire terminology, Excel, everything will be available here. Right? You can download it from here. If not, it is taking time, but it will be coming here. Can you see this? This is your SDTM controlled terminology. Right? It is the SDTM controlled terminology. You can see this here. Either you can check your details here directly. For an example, it's not giving me here all the details. It is compatibility version. I'll share this particular one with you. Yeah, can you see this? The meaning of this is your sex variable. It can be reported as female, F, capital F, everything is in the prop case, everything is in the upcase, or it can be unknown, or it can be undifferentiated. But while you are reporting it, while you are submitting to your SDTM, when you are submitting for your FBA, you need to ensure that it can be F, M, U, or undifferentiated. Everything is in a capital letter. Only these values are allowed. Is that clear? This is what your control terminology is, because you are mentioned here as controlled, right? So the moment you can see something got controlled here, you need to understand that as per the controlled terminology only, I need to report it. Whatever the value is going to be, the final value, I need to keep it as F, M, U, R, undifferentiated. Only these are allowed. Every one of you, is this clear? Right? Everything we need to do as per the guide, implementation guide. So it is also going to be a character for us. Done. Can we read this data set as is for now? Right? But these values are not as per your controlled terminology. I need to change it. Right? So I can see your code. Some of you have written the conditional statement here. There are multiple ways I can do. What are the ways I can do here? One, I can say that if it is capital A, M, A, L, E, then I need to call it as the M. If it is F, E, M, A, L, E, I need to call it as F. I can do like that. Instead, you can also write one proc format. Can someone help me with the proc format? Can someone help me with the proc format? Value, the name, I can say we are writing this for the sex variable value. What are the values? The value is going to be, if it is male, I can call it as M. If it is female, I can call it as F. What is the other thing? Here we have small f, capital F is also there. That also we need to work on that. If it is small f, then also it is going to be capital F. Then we have what is the other one? M. The M also can we call it as capital M. Then finally, if it is going to be 1, I can call it as it is 2. What is 1 and 2? We have written here 1 for male, 2 for female. Correct? All these are the acceptable values. Okay. Will it work? Can you see those? Maybe some syntax issues. We'll see. Yep. Yes, please. Someone is telling something.
Yeah, for one, we remove the single quotations, right?
We
One
can,
and
because
two.
it is a character data. We can keep it.
Okay.
Correct. It is a character data. Now it is got created. So once it got created, I can use this particular one here. I can simply apply my format text variable, already the same fixed dot. That is going to be a format. Okay, let's apply this. Now everything is as per your requirement. M. Correct? So everything is as per the standard implementation that. Now, the first question you may ask, Murli, why should I write a format? Why can't I go with the conditional formatting? Correct? The same thing I can also apply here, right? Mean to say, instead of writing like this, I can also write like this. Just let me show this to you. I don't apply a format. Instead of applying a format, I will say that if sex is equal to male, then again I'll write that sex is equal to m. Else if sex is equal to small m, or I can even write it in a better way. If sex in, I'll say in, I'll go with the male. I can also go with small m, or I can also go with what is that, 1. For all these three, so sex value equal to this. Else if this is not the case, if it is going to be female, if it is going to be female, or it is going to be small f, or it is going to be 2, then in that particular case it is going to be capital F. Both of them will do the same, right? I can simply write in condition and I can do this. Now the question is going to be, why, which one is correct? First one or second? Anyone?
First one it is correct, sir.
Why not second?
So we can use multiple times, right?
See, when
Real
it
time we
comes
can use
to,
multiple times.
yeah, okay, let me tell you this. When it comes to whether it is correct or wrong, both of them are correct only, because both of them are delivering what you need to do. You need standard value for this sex variable m or f. You are able to get it either with the first one or with the second one, right? But the question is going to be, if you want to use this, let's say here you are creating the variable called assignment number 1. Let's say for the first one you are creating, right? So let's say you are going to do the same thing in the assignment number 2. Why you want to do this? Why you want to write these 2 lines of the code again, right? Have one format. Every time when you want to write, when you want to use sex variable, by default apply this there. If it is anything like male, female, f, m, 1, 2, any of these are matching, automatically it will convert that into the latest value, automatically convert into the standard value, right? You write format once, use any number of times based on your, correct? But when it comes to which is correct, which is wrong, both of them are correct only. Nothing wrong in that, nothing wrong in using the second method. I can use it, right? But you can see that in assignment 2 I have to use this, assignment 3 I have to use it, assignment 4 I have to use it. Or in your project, let's say you are 5 people working on this, right? 5 people working on, you 5 people are working on 5 different domains, but in all your 5 domains sex is going to be the common variable. Then what you do, every time why if someone has to write it, instead write it once, keep it in your SAS code, use it as a include, correct? So write it once, use it multiple times. So that's the reason I prefer to go with the format. But it is not limited, it is not wrong to go with the conditional formatting. You can go with the conditional formatting as well. Nothing wrong. Clear, everyone? First of all, why we are using it and all? Anyone have any questions? Team? All right. Now, let me go with the next one. Oops. Okay. Here, in the same one, now I have the domain value at the same time. What all I have here? Domain name is there, which is DM. I have study name. What is study name? What is study name? Can I say study identifier? Right? But do you need a study identifier here? Because I have this study ID, correct? The very first one itself is going to be the study ID. I need, oh, I wrongly mentioned it and no one has identified it. Guys, are we doing right or are we doing wrong? If you are if you are numb, I don't understand anything. I need some input from you all the time. Guys, I'm asking you, are we doing good? Do you think anything we need to change here?
Yeah, we need to add a DM subject ID
Okay, DM subject ID we need to add. Okay, we'll do that.
and
What else?
use subject ID also. Is that
But
a
before that,
conquer?
be-
Yeah.
before that, we did a mistake here. No one is identifying it. Look at the code. We have a mistake here. Not the name. Okay, let me
Add
rectify this.
format.
No, no, no. Okay. See this. This is your code, correct? From line number 43 to line number 60. This is your code. Do you find anything wrong in this code?
Yeah. Subject ID is number. Study ID. Sorry,
No.
study ID.
Yes,
But
exactly.
you
The first
mentioned.
thing is, yeah, first thing is this is subject ID, but we read this as a study ID, which is wrong. Correct? This is patient number. Patient number is nothing but patient ID is nothing but the subject ID. But we wrongly read subject ID as the study ID. That is the first thing that we did wrong here. This is supposed to be the subject ID, subject identifier. Am I correct? This is SUBJ ID, subject identifier. That is what we need to call it as. Right? This is subject ID. Now I have the study name here. The study name is nothing but your study ID. Correct? The study ID directly given. So I can use a assignment operator and I can do this. So I have study ID. STUDY ID. Study ID is equal to, it's a character. Done. So how do I know it's a character? Yeah, the implementation guide, the very first thing is going to be study identifier. Subject identifier is nothing but this is what patient ID. That is what we have decided right now. Then domain. The domain is also already present because we are looking for the domain. The domain name here given as DM. So domain, which is equal to, it's also a character, DM. So from my output, I need domain, I need study ID, I need subject ID, and also sets. The only thing which is missing here is going to be use SUBJ ID. USUBJ ID is nothing but unique subject identifier. So unique subject identifier can be is a derived variable, correct? So how to derive this particular one? It is also as part of your implementation guide. You
Yeah.
can see that.
Study ID.
Yes, study
Study
ID,
ID.
site
Site ID.
ID,
Patient ID. Sorry, subject
exactly,
ID.
exactly. So let's go with the same. So here I need to go with, it is a concatenation of three things. What are the three things concatenation? I want to concatenate them. I want to look for the output like this. I need to have a hyphen between them. I don't want to have any special characters. I don't want to have any, what to say, yeah, leading or trailing spaces. So my separator is going to be hyphen. And then it need to start with study ID. Then it is going to start with, the second thing is going to be study ID followed by your site ID followed by your subject ID, your site ID. Where is the site ID? We haven't entered that here, right? Site details are here. Let's go with the site ID also. Site ID. The site ID also we go with this one. So how to identify your site ID, which is going to be where your clinical study is actually happening, right? Maybe I can go with site ID itself, which is equal to this one. Okay, then I'm going to use this one also here. Done. Let's run this. Okay, but here few changes we need to
One more
do.
is missing.
Subject
Yeah,
ID.
subject ID understood, study ID,
Yeah.
site ID, and subject ID. Yeah, done. Right. And also we don't want site ID in our output, correct? Our output doesn't require site ID. At the same time, I want to have this in this order. So let's have the same order. So how to go with the order? I can use the retain. So how to use your retain? Maybe I can use it after this. So retain, I want to have the order of study ID followed by domain. Then I want to have unique subject identifier, and then I need to have subject ID. Finally, I want to have sex variable. And also in my final output,
Yeah,
I don't.
Murli. Yeah, Murli. Yeah.
Mhm.
Here I have one question, Murli.
Please
Actually,
tell
you're
me.
creating a single assignment only, right? Assignment one. It
Mhm.
if you create a multiple like assignment one, assignment two, it will be better for understanding.
What do you mean by assignment one and assignment two? The second assignment
Yeah,
I'll do.
in assignment one we are done only subject ID and sex only, right? In assignment two we are adding additional part, sex and site ID.
No,
Like.
no, no, no. No, 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 no. Okay, I understand what you're saying, but I'll help you with that. Let me. I got it. Your question, I got it. I'll come to that. So now let's see this. This is what you're expecting. All of you, first of all, output is okay to all of you. Study ID, domain, use subject ID, and sex. And we have done everything in a single one. Only one particular data step we have completed everything. I don't know who asked this particular question right now, but let me answer your question. So what you are saying is only we have the input. This is my input. So why can't you have input alone in assignment number one? So correct me if I'm wrong. If this is not your question, let me know. This is assignment number one. In assignment number one, let's have only this. That is up to this one, because it have only subject ID and sex. Then write one more step here, and you can call it as assignment number two. And here you are going to add additional details along with this. Then here you're
Yes,
asking
Murli.
me to write, yeah.
Yes,
So
Murli.
that
It
is,
is right.
yeah, yeah. I'll tell you why I'm not doing this. There are two reasons for it. Number one, you are already completed your base and advanced SAS programming. You know how to write your steps and you know how to write your base SAS code. The reason for going with this particular one will be why unwantedly we need to create multiple data sets. Why? Because you're creating assignment number one, then you're going with the assignment number two, right? So each one data set is going to occupy some of the space, right? When it comes to the real time, guys, like how we are having, let's say for me, now I have a work library. For work library, we are going to have some space, correct? This is the place where all your data will be stored, all your temporary data sets will be stored. Once we go to the real time, once you are working within a team, you don't get individual work libraries, right? It will be a partitioned one. Mean to say, let's say in the Unix server, they will be having 10 GB of the space. Let's say 10 GB of the space your SAS administrator has given to the work library. In this, he or she is going to create partitions. Let's say you are 5 programmers. All your 5 programmers are utilizing the same 10 GB of the work library, but each one of you have the partition within that. So each of you get only 2 GB. If you create more number of data sets, unnecessarily you are bombarding your work library. correct? When there is no need of creating this particular data set, just for the sake of our understanding, why should we need to create it? When we are able to create everything in a single data set, why should we go with the other one? Right? Number one. Number two, your SAS code performance will be measured in two different ways. One is your execution time. Number two, optimum storage utilization. So how effectively you are utilizing your space. Based on these two, your SAS program will be evaluated. Generally, no one will come and evaluate. That's going to be a different story. But when you are dealing with the huge data sets, because generally most of us will deal with the huge data sets, when you're dealing with the huge data sets, whatever the program you write, your program output should be quick, that is less execution time and less memory occupation. Then it is called as an efficient program. So that's the reason, as long as it is not confusing other programmers, or as long as it is not creating anything critical, try to write everything, or try to write maximum of your code in as many simple steps as possible. Don't write so many number of steps. Try to reduce your number of steps. Try to make sure that your execution time and your memory utilization is under the limits. Is that clear why we are doing it?
Yeah, Murli,
I don't
it's
know who
clear.
are, yeah,
You can
yeah.
continue.
Suppose, yeah,
Thank you.
suppose if you feel
Thank you.
like, yeah, yeah. If you feel like, Murli, I'm not able to follow, you ask me, I'll explain. Okay, but let's start the habit of doing like this. It will be helpful. All right. So assignment number one is done. Can we go with assignment number two now? Right, the first one is done. The second one is here, assignment number two. The assignment number two is on, yeah, patient. Again, almost it is going to be the same, but few changes are there. Let me go with this up to the detail. Assignment number two, maybe. So what we have here, we have the patient details again, gender details are there. So with these two, let's create the data set. I think it is going to be the same data set, but with small changes. Let's do this first. Then we can think of the remaining. So I'm going to have under the return also, let me return, I'll do this later. Site ID also, I do it later. Data lines, subject ID and sex, these two we are going to read it. And we are going to use format, because up to this is available in the input, correct? So I'm taking up to this, correct? You might ask me, Murli, why you are deleting and doing it? Because that is not the space, that is a tabular one, correct? It's a tab. So when you go with the default one, it won't work. That's the reason I'm deleting it. I'm creating one more. So let's do this. So we have our data. So input data, that too, only these two are there. So then there is another data set which is called ICF details, where we have your term, you have patient ID, you have date, as well as you have time. Can someone tell me how you are going to rate this? I'll just call it as in the assignment number two. Let's, instead of calling this as patient subject details. Subject details. The second one is going to be ICF details. Under the ICF details, what we have? Let me copy this as well. Meanwhile, when I do this, can someone share the code? How do you want to proceed here? Can someone? Okay, let me read them. So what are them? One is going to be the first. Okay, I'll do the merge, but how do I get these details? So I'm going with in file followed by data lines. Then I'll use DLM here. I want to use the DLM here. The reason for that will be I just want to have this as a comma separated because I have the embedded space there. I just want to take the liberty of changing it. Do you understand why I'm doing it? Because the term has embedded space. Instead of using any column method or any other method, I just want to simply go with the just changing this because it is going to be anyways creating by me. I'm just changing this to the comma separated one just for my convenience, nothing else. So now with this embedded space automatically it will read easily, right? So here what and all we have, this is the second one, this is going to be third under the input. The first one is going to be the subject ID. As usual, it is going to be the same. The second one is going to be the term, correct? So I just use the term as it is. My term is going to be, I'm using this one. I will go with some 15 dot. Mahipal. Yeah, Mahipal, I got your mail, I think, long back itself. I think 2 days, 3 days back itself, I got it. So just asking someone if you are able to share it now here. Okay, 15 dot. And then I have this date. The date, I can call this as what date it is, guys? Can someone tell me? This is my RF incident, sorry, inform consent form date. So I just, for now, I just read it as ICF date. ICF date, which is going to be date 9 format, correct? Then I have ICF time. My ICF time is going to be, can I say, time 8 dot, correct? Then I just use the format. The format is going to be, what is the format? This one I can use as it is so that I can see whether I'm reading it correctly or not. First, let's read this data as is. So I have ICF sign date, ICF date, and ICF time. All the 4 values are present. Perfect. Right. Then what's the next thing? Who is this? Someone send it to me right now. Sanchi. Wonderful, Sanchi. Yep. So you also use date. Why did you use date and time here in character format? I know RF, this one's supposed to be in the character format, no doubt about it. But for now, while reading, you have a liberty of also reading that directly by using the date 9 format. All right. So now the next thing is going to be, I wanted to have, okay, someone else also send it. Who's this? Term equal to ICF signed. Okay. So Mahipal, you removed this one from your input itself and you directly assigned it. Okay, fine. Got it. That's fine. Now the next question to all of you. This is the one which I have it here, but all I need is I need the output like this. Subject ID, I want to have the sex variable followed by RFI CDTC. This is nothing but your reference, informed consent date and time in character format. Correct. So how to get that particular one? Anyways, that is going to be a timestamp, right? This one is nothing but a timestamp, right? Can I say that ICF date time? I just calling it is equal to, can I concatenate these two? Can I say DHMS, that is date and time of, DHMS of this, comma, can I say, maybe you can do this, you can also concatenate it by just converting that into character. You can do in any ways of your choice. I'm just trying one way. Let's say this will be like hour of Your this minute of this, seconds of this. So I just use this particular one. What is going to be a date and time format, guys? Can I say, can I use this particular one, IS8601DT? Can I use this? Check now. What went wrong? Expecting A. Where? Hmm. Okay, no semicolon. Still an error. Where? Seconds. There is some issue with this one. Second. What happened? This is second. Now, did you get your output directly? Can I call this as, instead of calling this as this one, can I straight away call this as reference, inform, consent, date, and time in character format? Can I also do that? Right? So now all I'm going to do is going to be whatever the data I have here, can I directly merge it? Right? So my final data set, I can call it as data R. Maybe I'll write a proc SQL. Why unless I need to start it again. So proc SQL create table. What is the create table here? Which one I can go with? Can I go with assignment number 2 directly? Right? Can I go with your date and time directly? Right? Where it is create table assignment 2 as select a dot subject id comma a dot 6 comma b dot rfi cddc from what is my first table? My patient details. Subject details is going to be the table number A. Then here I will only go with the inner join, or I can go with the left join directly. I'll tell you why I'm going with the left join. Left join, I will go with ICF details, which is going to be B on what? A dot subject ID is equal to B dot subject ID. Correct? Then what is the next thing? Once I have this particular join, I can simply sort this particular data set order by 1. 1 is nothing but your first column. What went wrong again? Subject details does not exist. What happened? Why subject details is not exist? Maybe we haven't, after rerun, we haven't run that. Now it is done. So now I can go with assignment number 2. This is my output. Simple. All of you are able to follow? We try to minimize the work as much as possible. Here I can also do that by using the data step merge. But if I want to do the data step merge, the problem is going to be I need to sort both my input data set. Why should I do that? I don't need to. Correct? I can directly do this. All of you are able to follow? Any questions? Okay, Ankita, I don't understand in select A dot B. Okay, so Ankita, are you familiar with SQL joins or not? If not, yes, right? Okay, let me tell you what happened here. I'm having 2 tables. So what are the 2 tables I have here? One is because, so this is my ICF details, correct? Let me copy this. right? This is my first one. What is this? Here I have subject ID. This is going to be my term. This is going to be my ICF date, ICF time, and finally this is nothing but reference, inform, consent form, date and time in character format. This is one table to me. So what is this particular table? This table is nothing but my ICF details. We have one more table here. What is the other table that we have here? The other table is going to be subject detail. So subject detail have these two. Copying is headache in this. Otherwise it will be good. Okay, this is nothing but subject ID. This is going to be nothing but my sex data. Okay, let's have this here. Done. This is going to be a subject details. Okay, so now we have two different tables. Now the thing is, I'm expecting an output like this. These two I want. This is the one I want. For this, I'm going with the proc SQL. So these two are nothing but the details that I'm getting from the first table. I'm calling this as A. This is the one which I'm getting from the other table. I'm calling this as B. I'm joining these two tables based on subject ID. So if these data is matching with these values, I'm matching it. So now how I'm going to write the code? Proc SQL create statement, create table. The name of the table that I want to create is assignment to as. Now I need to go with the fields, right? Select fields. If it is going to be a same table, I use select all the variables means star. But I want to get the details from two different tables. So I'm going to mention from the table A, I want to get subject ID, SUBJ ID, comma. From the A table itself, get me sex value. Then from the B table, get me RFICDTC. Right? If I use A dot star comma B dot star, in A also we have subject ID, B also we have subject ID. It will become an ambiguity reference. So that's the reason when you are going with the joins, you need to clearly mention it. And you confused because of the subject table names. You need to give the alias names, right? Without giving the alias names, how you are going with the join? You should give the alias name. Right? So left join your ICF details. That is going to be a B. So these two tables I'm joining based on your A table subject ID is equal to B table subject ID. That's it. This is the only code we have written there. Maybe to avoid the confusion, this is also going to be subject ID. We use the same name. SUBJ ID, SUBJ ID, SUBJ. Clear, everyone? Right. Assignment number 2 is also done. Can we go with assignment number 3? So my assignment number 3 is here. This is the one. So under the assignment number 3, subject titles are there. Again, here you have the treatment details. Based on the subject and treatment details, you need to calculate something else, which is nothing but this is your desired output. Okay, so let's go with this. So again, same story as usual. We'll go with the first thing is going to be we will go with the subject details. Here is what my subject details is. Subject details are here. Let's use them as it. Oh, it is going to be the same. Yeah, it is same. So I can use the same. Okay. Treatment details. This is the second one. I can call it as data treatment. I always like to give the relevant names. Then it will be easy for us to remember. Even if someone referring also, it will be easy for them. So first one is going to be the subject ID. Let's say that in file data lines input. The input is going to be SUBJ ID, subject ID, which is a character. Treatment, I'm just calling as TRT. Treatment is going to be a character. Finally, treatment date, TRT date. So treatment date is going to be, yeah, the third thing. So done. So here alone, all we need to do is we just need to go with date 9 dot. Correct? It is already in the date 9 dot. So apply the same as a format. Right. Run this. So my treatment date, all these three also available. So what is the expected output? My expected output is going to be, I need to go with my treatment start date, treatment end date. These two I need. Correct? So how I can get that for each subject, right? When we started with the first treatment, that is the date of first treatment is nothing but my start date. Last is going to be the end date. So when we want to do this particular one, we can go with the first dot and last dot. Correct? We can simply do that by using, yeah, which one? Patient subject details itself. So I can simply sort this. Proc sort data is equal to treatment details by on what? Subject ID, USUBJ ID, and run. Once you have it, then you are going to write data subject details. Let's say just say final. Set the same one. We are going to use a by statement here. The moment you use the by statement here on this particular one, you are going to have your first dot and last dot. Okay. Then what is going to be happen here once I have the first dot and last dot? If the first occurrence, if first dot of SUBJ ID, then what? If it is going to be the first dot of SUBJ ID, then what you are going to do?
RFS SDTC.
Yes. So RFSTBTC, then RFSTBTC is equal to what? Treatment date. Can I call that? Else, if last dot of subject ID, can I call that as RFENDTC is equal to treatment date? That's it. Can you see this once?
If last dot ID equal to then output.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do. First, we'll see the output. So we also apply the formats to it. Format here RFSDTC, RFNDTC for both of them, date 9 dot. So two things we need to do. Number one, if I go with only your last data of output, I'll get this particular one. How about this? To explain this only, I just said that if I go with first last data alone, how do I get this information? Got my point? Right? So to do that particular one, we can use a simple thing called retain. Retain this as well as this. Now see the output. What happened to this?
There is a typo, Murli.
Typo?
Yeah.
Oh, both of them
RF.
I retain the no, I retain the same thing. I
Yeah.
retain the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you can see 9th April is here, correct? For 222, even though it got retained, even this value got retained for this particular one, but still you can see that your October 2020 is the last one. Even for this one, it is 11th August, but your final value for this one, it went wrong. No. It is correct. 13th July, 7th September, and again for the 16th June as well as 15th September. Now I can go with the if last dot then output. If last dot of subject ID then output. Now you can see. All right. Then what is the next thing that I need to do in my output? This supposed to be in the IS 8610 D format, DA, not even D, DA. Correct? This format I want to have this particular one. So all I'm going to do now is instead of applying this format for both of them, I'm going to apply this format. Right? So now we compare it. So 09, 717, 912, 1010, 811, 1010. This went wrong, I believe. Correct? We'll see that. Then 713, 97, 616, 915. All of them are correct except this one. It went wrong. Let's see that. Why it went wrong also we can see. This is the reason it went wrong. Now 811, 811. Both of them are correct. 717, 1010, 811, 97, 915. In this case, 949, 912, 811, 713, 616. Now the output is correct. Right? And I don't want treatment date. In my output, I need only subject ID, sex, and these p values. So I don't want treatment and I don't want this one. So to do this particular one here itself, or we can go with the proc SQL final output. That is my, what is the thing? Create table assignment number 3 as select from the first one. Maybe I can simply copy the previous code also. I just need to change only the, I can take this from here. So from A, subject ID and sex will come. From B, instead of this, we are going to get these two values. Two values I require. Right? Then it is going to be the same again. I just want to have it on treatment details final. Done. Done. All of you comfortable? Assignment number 3 also done. Any questions here? Any questions from anyone? Wonderful. Can we go with assignment number 4? A very simple one. It won't take time. Let's finish it and we can complete today's class. Let's move with the 4th one. Assignment number 4. So under the assignment number 4, I think patient ID details remains going to be the same. So I can use the previous one. Subject details are going to be the same. Right. Then we have this one. Which one? These are called, I can call it as death details. These are nothing but the death details. Let's go with the death details. Data, subject, death, details, data lines, and run. So here also we take the liberty of just take comma as a delimiter, push, insert. Right. So now here it is going to be in file. I'll go with data lines, DLM is equal to comma, and then we are going to have input. Under the input, SUBJ ID is dollar, followed by what is the second one? We call this as term. You can call it as a term. Just go with $30 because we need the length there. The third one is going to be death date. Correct? What is that? Oh, no, not the death date. Sorry about it. Okay, that is subject end date. Also, we can you can call it as a term date. You can call it as. That's a term date. So term date. What is going to be the format here, guys? Can I call this as ISO 86? Oh, what is the format? Just now we use, right? ISO 8601 DA dot 8601 DA dot. Only for, oh, I use the format. Only for this particular one, we need to use the format. Format this. Let's run. Term date went wrong. Let's see why. Term date format, it is not able to take it. It's 601 DA dot. O is added extra. Now done. So we have taken the data. So what is the next thing? If the term is equal to death, in that particular case, my desired output is going to be, I need subject ID. I need to have, what is this? Text. This is death, date, and time in character format, followed by death flag. These two I need. So can I simply call this as, instead of calling this as a term date or something, I can directly call this as death, date, and time, but I cannot call this as a death, date, and time for everything. I got it. Okay. Maybe I can write directly here. If term is equal to death, then I want to do two things here. What are them? My death, date, and time in character format is equal to my term date, and my death flag is equal to yes. Right? I'm just doing this at a time. So this one also I just can put it here. Format for both of them the same format. So now what is going to happen if I run this? So only for the, if the term is equal to death, for both of them, I have my death date and time as well as death flag, both of them got updated. Now I can go with the simple proxy directly. So my assignment number 4, these two remains going to be the same. This is going to be DTH DTC, correct? DTH DTC, and I just need the death flag. That's it. So instead of treatment details, it is going to be subject. term details. Death is not the right word here. Term details we can call it. Just copy this, keep it here. Assignment number 4. Now you got your data directly. Everyone, is this clear? So we try to minimize our work as much as possible. That's the only thing we did. Any questions from anyone? Please ask me. I'm happy to answer. For assignment 1 and 2, I have not copied the desired output. Let me copy the desired output as well. This is assignment number 2. Then assignment number 1. Yep. Any questions from anyone, guys? Is this understandable? So here onwards, I'll expect everyone, whenever I give a code, I'm expecting everyone to write it and share it with me. If any of you are not doing it, guys, it will be difficult for you. Right? You can write it in any method of your choice. It is not like you should write like this only. No, you can write it any method of your choice. All right. That's all for today, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. Else not. And I would like to add one more thing. Tomorrow I may not be taking the class. The next class is on Friday. Okay, tomorrow there is no class. The next class is on Friday, right? So Friday, what we are going to do is, for DM domain, we take raw data set, we create the complete SDTM data set in SDTM compliance. As per the SDTM compliance, we are going to write it. That is, in your raw data set, you are going to have only one details, that is raw data. Sure, Sanchi, I'll do it right away. I may forget it, I'll do it right away. So Balisa just now mentioned he uploaded the video. Today's video will upload it in some time. Yeah, this one, the notes alone, I'll do it right away. The yesterday's notes, that is DM complete notes, as well as this code, I'll share it with you guys. You can go ahead with it. All right. Any other questions from anyone? Okay. See you tomorrow, guys. Sorry, not tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Take care. Bye. Thank you.